Welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo-Wop, a podcast where we talk about pop music, specifically by deep diving a randomly chose top 10 from the past. We'll go messing where we shouldn't be messing, your father's perfecting ways of making sealing wax, anything they want to, they can turn us on to. We saw a certain woman, so we thought we'd take a chance. I am neither Peggy Sue or Mary Lou. I am Andy Robinson.
And I'm Peggy Sue. Oh no, wait, I'm James Cook.
And what randomly chose top 10 from the past are we delving into this week, James?
This week we are going to the 7th of March, 1966.
The 7th of March 1966, which I partly say just to reiterate, in the top 40 around this time there was also I Can't Let Go by the Hollies, Michelle by the Overlanders, Dusty Springfield, Little by Little, The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore, Walker Brothers, Dedicated Follower of Fashion, The Kinks, all that sort of stuff. That's good.
3 days earlier, John Lennon had said that the Beatles were bigger than Jesus.
I mean, they always pop up, the Beatles, don't they? So, not in this week's top 10, though.
No.
Spoilers. Labour are also about to win the next general election. The Russians have launched something or other in space, and there's a new legislation forcing cars to stop polluting. That's all just been passed in the March 1966, so, it's good to know all that's been sorted.
In Los Angeles, Brian Wilson was working on Good Vibrations. And Udo Jürgens had just won Eurovision for Austria with Merci Chérie.
Well, I'm going to say this, James. We don't like spoilers, but there's a certain touch of 1966. I went into this imagining, hey, it's a year arguably rock music was invented. We're going to see the countercultural forces coming in. Not so much, maybe.
There are a couple of instances of rock creeping in, though.
Yeah. Where were you around the 7th of March 1966?
Well, I was in my early 40s, and I hadn't been born yet, had I? This is before both our times, isn't it?
Yes, I bought none of these in the top 10, although I'm going to say around 50% of them I did purchase later on various best-ofs and compilation and 60s music, because I like the old 60s music. While we're talking about it, there is a Spotify and a YouTube playlist in our
description.
Click on that.
I've got some stats about the chart.
I love your stats, please tell me.
There are 5 songs going up, 2 going down, and 3 non-movers for a total net movement of positive 17. There are 5 British artists, 5 Americans, 5 cover versions, 5 groups, and 5 solo artists. All the 5s. That's very pleasing.
I also have some stats. There are 7 songs regarding some of the complexities of love, 1 declaration of what some footwear is for, 1 statement of a psychotic episode, and also a song that conjures up the image of a Mediterranean insect. There are 2 great key changes. No examples of self-reference, though, so.
There are another half a dozen songs on the playlist that are in the top 50 on the 7th of March 1966, and we get into them in our special bonus tracks podcast, featuring 3 bona fide soul classics from Stevie Wonder, James Brown and Smokey Robinson, a jaunty ditty about depression, and one of the most sampled songs of all time. You can join our Patreon community for free. The bonus tracks podcast costs less than a pair of Adidas Gazelles a month.
Adidas Gazelles, were they? Surely they're the 70s.
No, they came out in 1966.
Cool.
Did you ever have a pair?
No. I was too poor, etc.
I wasn't cool enough.
Should we have a look at this top 10?
Yes.
Okay, Boots, do your stuff.
Number 10.
Up 11 to number 10 this week, it's Eddie Arnold with Make the World Go Away.
Yes, and I think we've all felt like that scrolling through social media in recent years, haven't we?
Do you know, I just feel like that. I'm not on social media. I feel like that just generally. What I thought was pretty intriguing about the title of this song is bleak, isn't it? The initial Make the World Go Away.
It's melodramatic, isn't it? In its depiction of sadness.
Yep. So it's a good sentiment. We all know that feeling, though, as you alluded to, whether on social media or not.
Yeah, but, why have subtext when you can just have a big straw?
I mean, I looked at YouTube comments about this song, as I'm going to bring in early, James. YouTube, once again, in the 7th of March 1966, acting as some sort of weird book of condolence for the public, but loads of people love this song. Daniel, 8875, just to put it in some sort of hysterical context, says, from a time when you only needed one parent working and you never locked your doors, it's all gone now. So that's what his perception of 1966 was, at least.
Yeah, crime has been going down for about the last 30 years. Maybe it's because people lock their doors now. Maybe prevention is better than...
I get you. You're calling bullshit on Daniel 8875. Yeah. All right, then.
That's it, Daniel 8875. You and me.
All right,
settle
then.
this like men.
Let's try something more. Let's call it emotional, James. Get Money 716 about this song.
This is going to be emotional from Get Money.
Yes.
Okay.
716, so the other 715 are pretty bad, but I think this one's got in touch with his emotions. Yeah, it's a great listen for when you are down and out and feel like the world is against you. Eddie impacting generations to come.
For my tastes, it is too melodramatic and too self-pitying. And that's me saying that.
Yeah.
You know, I like to wallow in self-pity. Hell, I used to listen to, Manic Street Preachers when I was growing up. Yeah. But even for me, I felt like, come on, mate.
I like the notion of Eddie Arnold trumping the Manic Street Preachers in, let's call it a cry of existential angst.
What, 47-year-old former mortuary assistant Eddie Arnold?
Yeah, God, tell me all about him. I don't know him.
He used to be managed by Colonel Parker.
Of Elvis Presley fame?
Yeah. Between the end of the war and 1953.
Yeah.
Then he fell out with Colonel Parker.
Very much how life works sometimes.
So he's actually, he's in his late 40s. And that gives hope to all of us. Getting a top 10 single.
Yeah. Doesn't it? We can use Eddie Arnold. Let's face facts, Jack. I like to acknowledge this early on because I don't think people always know. We are stand-up comedians. There's a certain comedian who got a role in the Ken Loach film, Dave Johns, in the brilliant Hi, Daniel Blake. He got that part, and I was almost angry with him for giving hope for silly old men thinking they were going to become a film star. It annoyed me. Dave Johns is one. All right, then.
Yeah. There's another Elvis connection on this.
Elvis did a cover.
Did he?
Yeah, man. You think that Eddie Arnold's melodramatic, you should hear Elvis's way he tears into this song.
It depends when Elvis did the cover of it.
In the 70s, when he's sad and depressed, a little bit overweight, always upset about Priscilla, apparently. So, yeah, it's one of those songs he chose, absolutely. Elvis, at some point, was gravitated towards, let's call it, songs of melancholia.
Floyd Kramer, formerly of Elvis's band.
The pianist.
He's playing the piano on this record.
Yeah.
And the backing vocals are by the Anita Kerr Singers.
Cool.
Anita Kerr wrote Piano Piano, the song that finished 12th in the 1985 Eurovision Song Contest for Switzerland. I always like to find Eurovision connections when I can.
That or the Muppets.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Floyd Kramer, I'm going to bring a little bit of what we like to do sometimes, James, which is talk about our personal experience, yeah? I went to a tour of Nashville Studios, RCA studio. They showed the piano Floyd Kramer played on in the studio. They said after, does anyone play piano? Do you want to have a go? Because Elvis used to warm up on this piano Floyd Kramer played on. Everly Brothers, loads of songs. I tentatively put my hand up, had a little go on that piano. I was shaking from the emotion of it all. It was nice.
Oh, that's a lovely story.
Yeah.
When was this?
I would say 10, 15 years ago, something like that.
So you played the piano that Floyd Kramer played. Amazing.
I have a picture of it somewhere.
Yeah. Have you washed since? I'll never wash these fingers again.
That's nothing to do with Floyd Kramer's piano. That's just very poor self-sanitary help.
Well, this song, written in 1963 by Hank Cochran.
Eddie Cochran's brother?
It is Eddie Cochran's brother.
Cool.
Yes, Hank Cochran. It was inevitable that he was going to write country and western songs because he was born in Mississippi during the Depression. By the age of 3, he'd survived pneumonia, whooping cough, measles and mumps. He was put in an orphanage, aged 9, when his parents divorced, ran away from it twice, moved in with his grandparents, where his uncle Otis taught him to play the guitar, and then he hitchhiked to New Mexico to work in the oil fields and ended up picking olives in California. Of course he writes country and western songs, because that's his life.
What a great life.
This version produced by Mr. Guitar, the country gentleman, Chet Atkins.
Oh, okay. Again, played with Elvis.
Yep, he has a stretch of interstate in Georgia named after him. That's how you know you've done well, when you've got a road.
Brian Clough Way.
Yep. He didn't write any country and western songs, though.
No. I always consider Brian Clough a kind of rock star in a way. The rock star of football management, you can say. Anyway. It said on YouTube comments, if you know anything about Eddie Arnold, it's someone was claiming he grew up in great poverty. So again, this
Where?
is in poverty.
In great poverty.
Yeah, just
so on the outskirts of poverty.
Next to poverty,
yeah.
But it's a slightly posher suburb. It's a simple 3-chord song. Donny Osmond, I believe, did a cover of it once upon a time.
And Marie. Let's not forget Marie.
My apologies, forget my dreadful patriarchal ways. And a splendid contribution she made too, I imagine. The Voice of History on YouTube, he wrote this in capitals, James. He says about this song, never has there been a better time for the words of this song. Come, Lord Jesus, come.
Wow. Make the world go away in a very specific sort of end of days rapture type way.
That's how the voice of history sees it. We all hear songs different ways. Why not hear it as almost an apocalyptic cry for the end of civilization?
We sing as Make the World Go Away, Get It Off My Shoulders. Who are you, Atlas? I'm just glad Eddie Arnold doesn't have the nuclear codes.
Yeah.
If he's prone to wanting to make the world go away.
Come, Lord Jesus, come.
No one give Donald Trump this song.
It's all right, he's grooving to YMCA. He doesn't need this song.
Number 9.
Down 5 to number 9. You Were On My Mind by Crispian St. Peters.
Yes.
Not You Were Always On My Mind. That's a different song. You Were On My Mind, brackets not always.
This song I enjoyed listening to. Again, listen to it in the Spotify top 10. We just say that every week because it's great top 10, isn't it?
It is, and it doesn't take very long to listen to it because it's the 60s, all the songs are quite short.
Now, I knew this song. I'd never owned it. I couldn't name it. I wouldn't have been able to tell you what it was with the brackets or without. Wouldn't have been able to tell you who sung it. I kind of liked finding a name and a place for this song this week. Did you watch a video?
I didn't know there was a video.
Oh, it's great. I clicked on it because I like to look for YouTube comments, for Voice of History, that type of thing. I didn't know who it was. I thought that could be a band, Crispian St. Peters. It's got a nebulous name, hasn't it?
It sounds like a school.
Yeah, quite. I was thinking,
Which school did you go to? I went to Crispian St. Peters.
All right, then. So if you actually look at Crispian St. Peters, it's not a school. It's a fella standing in a weed patch.
A weed patch?
Yeah. Just there he is, singing this song, miming along to it in black and white, obviously, and a terrible surrounding. I liked it. Almost made the song a bit more real. Felt a little bit like, when Spotify is uploading 60,000 songs a day now and everyone's filming it on a phone. I mean, imagine he'd do that. Looked like an early TikTok video, Crispian St. Peters.
He was way ahead of his time. It's also not his real name.
Go on.
His real name is Robin Smith. Why would you change your name to Crispian St. Peters to be a pop star?
Because it's, as I alluded to, you don't know what it is. It's a ear catcher.
Sounds like you wanted Jacob Rees-Moggs, mate.
Well, maybe in 1966 it had different connotations.
Is a cover version. Yeah. Is originally written by Canadian folk singer Sylvia Fricker in 1961 for her duo Ian and Sylvia, who continue our long tradition on this podcast of musical artists who sound like your mom's friends.
Absolutely.
Ian and Sylvia are coming round.
I like it as well, because on YouTube comments I saw the comment of who wrote it, you say?
Sylvia Fricker.
Sylvia Fricker. Someone in the YouTube comment says apparently she wrote this in a bathtub, and then she claimed the reason she wrote it in the bathtub because it was the only place where cockroaches wouldn't go. So she was obviously living in poverty, and I hope this song got her out of it a bit.
Yeah, maybe she's singing about cockroaches. Yeah. Maybe the cockroaches are always on her mind.
We're having a little apocalyptic meltdown. We've had Eddie Arnold going about the world going away. Now the cockroaches are taking over in 1966.
It was the Cold War. It goes, I've got a feeling, down in my shoes. Cockroaches in the shoes, that's what that is.
I like the lyrics anyway because I felt they were very bluesy. I've got trouble on my mind. I'm a worried man. He's standing in a weed patch after all.
Yeah, you can tell it's bluesy because the first line is, well, I woke up this morning.
Precisely.
And well done for not sleeping in.
Immediately you're in some sort of context, aren't you? So I kind of liked it because it's also got the, I'm going to say, an Everly Brothers harmony in it that Crispian St. Peters is singing himself. Kind of beautiful.
So after the success of this song, St. Peters gave an interview to the NME claiming that he was a better songwriter than the Beatles and that his performance on stage made Elvis Presley look like the Statue of Liberty.
So I saw in a comment, Laszlo Jacob 8382 says he ruined his career when he said he's better than Elvis and the Beatles.
Yeah, he said he was going to be bigger than Presley, more talented than Sammy Davis Jr., sexier than Dave Berry, and more exciting than Tom Jones. As you can tell, the people in the pop music press went, oh,
tell me more.
Really?
Go on, and go on. Yeah, I mean, I quite like it, though. That's what Oasis did in the 90s, when it said we're the best, everyone else is rubbish. Why not have a little bit of, if he was a rap singer and he wasn't stuck in a weed patch.
You can't have a rapper called Crispian St. Peters.
You know what I'm saying,
He'd be called Crispy P.
Bit of a braggadocio, I think is the word. He's just showing off and getting some attention. Unfortunately, he got some attention and it ruined him.
Yeah, after his fourth single flopped, work and money dried up and he became depressed. In 1970, he was dropped by the record label and admitted to hospital suffering from a nervous breakdown.
Oh, see, well, we shouldn't mock him. Maybe he did have delusions of grandeur and like Kanye, Crispian St. Peters, the new Kanye, maybe without the dreadful anti-Semitism. or turning up with your wife naked. Oh, it's the week of the Grammys, I just thought I'd mention that. Also, get this, I like this on YouTube comments. Alma G. Mervyn says, no matter how many decades passed, this song will remain nostalgic. And then Anthony Ayers, E6Q, piles right in and says, yeah, that's how nostalgia works.
He's got a point. I thought this song was a bit meh, if I'm honest. That didn't...
It's got a sneaky key change in. Didn't you like it?
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I thought. I just thought...
You've got no more to say about it
No, I
than that.
don't think it's particularly... It's not particularly catcy or hooky, I don't think.
Not hooky or catchy?
No, it's the one song in this top 10. And admittedly, I don't think I'd maybe heard it before. I'm not sure. But it's the one where I keep going, oh, how does that one go again?
Really?
And having to go, oh, it's that one. It just didn't jump out at me.
Okay. Well, what a damning indictment of crispy... I'm going to say then, just for a little bit of levity, I love this song, by the way. That's how it works sometimes. Isn't it? We try and dress it up, James, with reasons why.
I don't think it's bad.
Hey, is it time to bring up Nile Rodgers once a week?
Go on, then.
You do it because I like it when you say it. Nile Rodgers famously once said,
if a song's in the top 10, you're not allowed to slag it off ever, even if you think it's a bit meh.
He did, because he said it connected with lots and lots of people, and it must be a good song to get in the top 10. I mean, let's face it, it's 1966. People could have bought any record. I like to mention that once a week, James, to get us away from our dreadful self-importance of our own opinion.
But my opinion is the most important.
I get ya. Todd Cotts 510 on YouTube says, I remember him buying drinks for everyone in the Bullseye pub in Basildon.
Well, good for him. Did he say, I'll buy more drinks than Elvis?
I'm better at buying drinks for everybody than Leonardo da Vinci.
Number 8.
Down 2 to number 8, it's Herb Alpert with Spanish Flea.
Don't forget the Tijuana Brass.
And the Tijuana Brass, my apologies.
Do you want to know my fun fact about Herb Alpert?
Please, please, please.
This is apparently true. He's the only man to have had a US #1 with an instrumental and a vocal track.
What's the vocal track, do you know?
This Guy's in Love with You.
Of course, yeah.
This song produced by Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss. Do you know who Jerry Moss is?
No.
He is the M in A&M Records.
Okay.
Yes.
So Herb Alpert is the A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jerry Moss is the M. Yeah, they founded it in 1962. It would become the largest independent record label in the world. Listen to this. This is a brief selection of some of the acts who've recorded A&M. Burt Bacharach, The Carpenters, Quincy Jones, Liza Minnelli, Billy Preston, Cat Stevens, Joe Cocker, Free, Carole King, Chris de Burgh, Squeeze.
Why do we need to free Carole King? What's she done?
Yeah, Free Carole King with every pack of cornflakes. Squeeze, The Sex Pistols for a week, Janet Jackson, The Police, Sting, Bryan Adams, Suzanne Vega and The Human League. In the 90s, they'd sell it to Polygram for a deal that would eventually net them $700 million.
Cool. Well done, Herb and the other fella.
Jerry Moss.
Even if you don't know Spanish Flea, you kind of know it, don't you?
It shows up a lot in popular culture.
The Muppets.
Well, no, what's the other one I used?
Simpsons.
Yeah, it's been in The Simpsons 4 times. Wow. The last time it was used is in an episode called Sunday Cruddy Sunday, which aired on the 31st of January 1999. The very next day, the guy who wrote the song, Julius Wechter, passed away.
R.I.P. Thank you for your contribution to the panoply of pop music, as I like to say.
Yeah, Julius Wechter, the marimba and vibes player in the Tijuana Brass, he came up with this tune. And it's just impossible to listen to this and not have a big smile on your face.
100%. I mean, it brings out, you know me, James, and we've talked about this before, but any record or song or aural sensation that makes people dance stupid, unselfconsciously, I'm there for.
This definitely does that.
Yeah.
Did you know there are lyrics?
I saw it. Go on. I'm gonna get the guitar, because also on YouTube, Jonathan Jensen 4193 says, as a musician, I love how it goes around the circle of fifths before jumping back to the dominant via a tritone. Sorry, I'm geeking out here.
You are.
So let's try and geek out.
What does that mean?
Let's
what
try
does
and
any
geek
of that
out
mean?
together. A circle of fifths essentially is B flat, do, D, weird, G. And it's all just moved. That's a circle of fifths. If you can imagine, you can hear kind of where they're all going. How can I explain it? I'll tell you a good way of explaining what a fifth is. Twist and shout, yeah?
Yeah.
The beginning of that. So, say we're playing it now, I don't know what key it's in. It starts with a... and you know it's going somewhere. It's not starting in A. And that chord leading into it that I was messing around with, that's a fifth. That's a big fifth going into it. So a circle of fifths is essentially, you go B flat, E flat, and then you want to hit the A flat and then the D flat. There's other bits in it, but it's got a lovely little cheeky chord changing, I'm saying. So what are the original lyrics, you say? We're gonna change the melody, James, so no copyright.
I will just instinctively change the melody with my poor quality singing.
All we're doing is promoting music, essentially.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so he's going.
There was a little Spanish flea, a record star he thought he'd be. He heard of singers like Beatles and the Chipmunks he'd seen on TV. Why not a little Spanish flea?
Nice.
And then there's a whole bit about hiding on a dog.
Huh?
And so he hid inside a doggy from Madrid. He arrived in the city, still singing his sweet harmony, as proud as any flea could be.
I prefer it without the words I'm going to say.
Yeah, and I do.
Very rarely do I say that. As 969 Purple Roses says on YouTube, if this song isn't playing at my funeral slideshow, I'm not dying. Crazy Lazy Bro 2473 says, imagine this played on a kazoo with stadium sound system, which I thought was a bit mad, which I liked it. Loads of people have got some weird connotation, this song. Mr. Ducky 2550 says, this is what plays in my brain every time I forget something. My brain is experiencing technical difficulties. Imagine that. I mean, we forgot loads of things before we set up this podcast, didn't we, James? We forgot the headphone splitters, headphones, and then we're walking around. Imagine us just singing Spanish Flea all the time to it, rather than moaning about our careers.
It has got that sort of... We have technical difficulties, please hold. It's got that quality to it. It's got sort of a bit of a lift music vibe.
Yep.
In your head, when you close your eyes, you see 1960s dancers doing the mashed potato on some light entertainment show to this, don't you? And is that because this was, for many years, the theme to The Dating Game on American television?
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you know about The Dating Game?
No, go on, please tell me.
So it's basically...
Not in any kind of way in life in general.
You know Blind Date? The TV
Yes.
show. It was that, but in America. It started in the 60s. The guy who came up with the idea for it is a guy called Chuck Barris, whose autobiography, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which later became a film starring
That great actor, Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
I don't do that very often.
Yeah.
I saw a good thing about actors the other day. You know that Timothy Oliphant actor?
Yeah.
He had a great thing about actors. He said it's essentially stand over there and say that. It made me love him a bit.
Well, famously, Timothy Oliphant packed his trunk and said goodbye, Andy Serkis. If you haven't read or seen Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, I heartily recommend them because Chuck Barris claims that while he was making the TV show The Dating Game, he was also a CIA operative. And there's no way that can be possibly true, but that's what the book and the film are about.
I like it. I mean, even if it's true or not, who was that comedian who for a little bit who worked on the circuit, told everyone he slept with Kylie Minogue and Princess Diana? We don't need to mention his name, but I like it. You know, why not give a bit of bullshit to pass the day?
I suppose it makes a more interesting autobiography, and it probably wouldn't have been made into a film if it was just about a man. I made some quite successful TV shows back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah. So what?
Have you seen any clips of The Dating Game?
No, we talk about... Oh, God, I'm right
Loads
into the
of
dating
people,
game. Go on.
because it was shot in Hollywood,
Yeah.
loads of people who would then go on to be super famous are on it as contestants.
It's like comedians have appeared on Blind Date again, mentioning no names.
Yeah, Steve Martin's on The Dating Game. Arnold Schwarzenegger's on The Dating Game.
Steve Martin's on
Yeah.
it. How does he come across? Have you watched the clip?
He just comes across as a suave young man. No, he's not particularly funny on it. Right. He's not in character. Unlike Andy Kaufman when he was on it, he was in character.
What does he do on it?
You know his foreign man character?
Yeah.
He's doing that.
I mean, you talk about the video of it. I clicked on it thinking this will be nice, watching Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass, let's not forget. And they were playing a bullfight. So it wasn't quite as, let's call it charming as you might imagine. Yeah. You know that song Morrissey did, The Bullfighter Dies, and everyone cheers? It made me think of that song a little bit.
Number 7.
Let's mention it's raining before we do this one, James, just for any sound benefits. Hey, why not join us on Patreon so we can get out of this bleeding shed in the rain? And genuinely mean this. If you want to follow us on Patreon, Jack, we didn't do it at the beginning. Let's do it now. We look into extra... What do we call it? Extra tracks, don't we?
Bonus tracks.
Bonus tracks. Another half a dozen songs that never made the top 10. Hey, we appreciate it if you want to listen to that. And let's face facts, support us and give us a little bit of cash. We appreciate it.
Up 8 places to number 7. It's Backstage by Gene Pitney. Another cover version.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Who by?
Well, it was originally written by Willie Denson and Fred Anisfield and released by James Darren in 1963.
I know James Darren. He had another song about, let's call it Showbiz Life. Goodbye, Cruel World, I'm off to join the... I always love a song that alludes to, let's call it the trials and tribulations of a performer.
Well, James Darren was an actor as well. He was in the TV show Time Tunnel, and he played Vic Fontaine in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Willie Denson, who co-wrote this song, in 2001 won $3 million in the Georgia State Lottery. Well done him. But this, I mean, we talked about a melodramatic song with Make the World Go Away.
Yeah.
Here is some more proper 60s, big sounding melodrama.
Go on, I'm
Gene
all in.
Pitney proper emoting about, oh, backstage, I'm so very lonely. I wish I could be a rock star as well backstage.
What do you mean? I wish I could be a rock star as well.
That's what he's singing about. He's
Is it?
on
Go on.
on the stage.
It slightly annoyed me, this song.
On the stage, he's all popular and everyone loves him, but then he goes backstage and he's all lonely.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's sad, isn't it? We're both
Idiots.
show business adjacent, aren't we?
Yeah.
And so we know.
I catch a bus sometimes to showbiz adjacency, if you know what I mean. I have to travel to get there. No, I'm being silly.
There's that whole thing, particularly with comedians, that, off stage, they must be so sad all the time. And not really. It's the truth.
Some of them are.
Some of them are.
People
have good days and bad days, don't they?
That's for sure.
One of the things I like about doing the kind of mixed bill comedy shows that I scrape a living from doing is the hanging around in the green room.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it? I sometimes thought it wasn't fun, and then during lockdown, I thought, oh no, I really miss this. I kind of liked it, James. When we weren't hanging around other comedians, let's say, my first gig back, obviously I'm nervous. Obviously I'm thinking, can I still do this? Is this even viable? I met another comedian who shall remain nameless. And the first time I saw him after 3 years, 2.5 years of everybody not working, I said, all right, how's it going? He went, my agent is being an absolute nightmare. And I thought, a bit of me thought, oh, I'm glad I'm back. You know what I mean? It was a conversation on Saturday night I sort of missed, weirdly. I didn't know it at the time.
So here's my thing for Gene Pitney.
Go on.
He needs to get himself a support act. Then he won't feel lonely backstage. He'll have someone to hang out with.
Quite. Yeah.
If you want to do the big show on your own... You can't be surprised when you're lonely backstage, mate.
I get ya. All right, then. It's got a great big note at the end. I mean, I love Gene Pitney. That melody, whatever quality his voice has got, it's a thing, isn't it? It comes with so much emotion. Someone told me once about singing, you have to have character and conviction, essentially. I mean, he's got both of them, that's for sure.
His popularity was waning in America at this point, but he was still popular in the UK. When did he have his first UK number one?
I don't know. 1961?
1989.
Oh, really?
When he was 49 years old, when he duetted with Mark Almond on Something's Got a Hold of My Heart. But, I mean, I have enjoyed this song.
Have you?
It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
Do you know there's a video on YouTube for this as well?
No.
Oh, pretty good it is. Where do you think it's based, this video? Where would you think they would put Gene Pitney singing this song?
Singing backstage, probably in some kind of dressing room, I should imagine, in front of a big mirror with lights around it.
Outside the backstage door.
Oh,
so
okay.
he's there.
So he's not backstage, he's near the backstage.
All right, then.
Right.
He's backstage adjacent. But it's good because he's got, there he is singing his song and all that. In the video, there's a woman who stands behind him, just gawping at the camera like that.
Yeah.
So obviously, in the YouTube world, loads of men piling on her going, she wants to be famous. I think that'd be ridiculous.
So she's not officially part of the video.
No,
she's not a character.
Standing there looking over his shoulder.
She's
like
just
that,
like
a little bit.
One of those blokes on deadline day who hangs around outside the football stadium getting on Sky Sports.
Yeah.
She's that, but for Gene Pitney. Yeah.
Have you ever had a sad backstage experience? Would you be able to relate?
Usually it's because the backstage area is horrible. You're in the kitchen. Sometimes there isn't even a backstage, is there, Andy? Sometimes you just stand at the back of the room.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes you have to buy your own soft drink.
There's one dressing room that's so bad, I can't mention where. And I'd rather sit by the toilets than sit in the room they give you. It's like it's absolute drug hovel.
I've compared gigs where everyone on the lineup has been doubling up.
Yeah.
Which just means you are essentially on your own.
On your own.
And then these
Hello,
people shot up.
Yeah, good luck earning more money than I am. Good luck.
Yeah. And off they go. And I don't like those. I like it when there are people who are hanging around that you can have a laugh with.
Yeah. It's what put me off early days gigging in London a little bit, because when I went down London, I thought this is a bit exciting, but as it turns out, everyone's got lives down there and everyone's doing the double and triple gigs. So I never saw anybody, so I just drive down to London, take me 8 hours to get through it, drive back on my own for no money. Anyway.
All to music.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying you could write your own version of Backstage.
Well, aren't we all? All right then. What pop star said this about being backstage? All you could do was to see them. We were backstage when the Beatles were on, and you could just about hear a noise. It was literally screaming.
So someone who toured with the Beatles.
Who was around that time for sure?
British act?
Yeah.
Helen Shapiro?
No, it was Roger Daltrey. Good guess, though.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a kind of pop star. I have loved music so much from when I was little, and I don't know whether it was because I saw my dad doing it. Little clue. And then I got the idea. I don't know what came first. I always had a hairbrush. Blah, 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 blah.
So someone whose dad was a singer in the 60s, are you saying?
He certainly sung in the 60s as well.
Oh, so this is a man.
It's a woman.
Oh, is it Sam Brown?
It is Lisa Marie Presley. Let's say upper division. Not in terms of being a person, just in terms of success. My apologies, Sam Brown. I think you're great.
She's had more hits than Lisa Marie Presley.
Yeah, nice point. Who said this? Which pop star said this? When you feel like you have a good show, you go backstage and you talk to yourself about it. And if you have a bad show, you talk to yourself about it. Pretty good. She probably got there in a very speedy vehicle, to give you a clue.
Tracy Chapman.
Well done, James.
Hey.
Million pop points to you. Should we do one more and get out of here?
All right.
Almost, this is an opposite of Gene Pitney's loneliness about his showbiz life. But honestly, it's pretty weird. There are girls who do absolutely everything just to get a backstage pass. I don't know what it is, but really, when you're on national TV in America, the girls love you. They all want you, and I'm not complaining.
Isn't that what Donald Trump said on that bus?
Well, carry on down that road of thought for what pop star might have said it.
Pop star who's a bit like Donald Trump.
One of his mates. Probably the only one. I mean, you've only got. It's not the Village People. Let me give
Kid
you a clue.
Rock.
Yeah, another million pop points to you, James.
Worked it out.
Number 6.
Up 2 places to number 6. It's the Beach Boys with Barbaran.
Ba 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 ba. Sorry, you can't help it.
Do
can
it.
you? Can't help it.
We all know this song, I
Yeah.
feel. In some ways, it's almost another example of the futility of this venture. Let's call it, James. Everybody knows this song. Do you dig it? Do you like it? Does it make you feel happy?
When I was working on the radio, the company I worked for, at great expense, hired an American radio consultant to come in and talk to all of us presenters. And he said, if you can tell someone something about a song that they didn't know before, they'll always remember who told them
Great.
the fact. And then he used Barbara Ann as his example.
And what was his example?
Here are his 3 facts
Great.
about Barbara Ann, which I have remembered and will now impart to you. And you probably already know some of them.
That man, I'll pretend I haven't.
Number 1,
Yeah.
the main vocalist is not one of the Beach Boys.
Okay, who dat?
It's Dean from Jan and Dean.
Really?
Yes. He's singing
The one
lead.
who's singing all the way up there,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, and Brian Wilson a bit.
Okay.
But it's Dean from Jan and Dean.
Great fact.
Number 2,
I never knew that, genuinely.
there is a solo where someone hits an ashtray with a pencil, which is introduced in the back. You can hear someone go, hit that ashtray, and then someone starts hitting an ashtray with a
This is
pencil.
good stuff.
And then in, I think, the 3rd verse, a bunch of them forget the lyrics and all start giggling.
I've heard that many, many times
Yeah.
for sure. Well done, that radio controller, for giving us at least, I'm going to say 2 facts, and the third one is nonsense because we've all got ears. But I'm only being petty for no reason.
Well, I came away from that seminar thinking, yeah, that's a really cool thing to do if you're playing Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys. But if you're playing the 5th single from Rihanna's album, there isn't that much you can tell people about
Yeah.
it. You know, when you're playing songs that are sort of...
Made on a computer with just 2 people often.
But even that, you know, even some of those songs have got things about them. But when they're machine tooled to within an inch of their life to be pop songs,
I get ya.
there are bits, but there's not as much as in something as characterful as this.
All right then. Well, next time we cover a Rihanna single, let's just make up a spurious fact and see if we can just slip
Yeah.
it in. All right then. I get ya. Yeah, again, like clicked on the video mainly to look at YouTube comments, I suppose, for cheap laughs or a little bit of interest at least. And now the video is kind of weird. It was only made 2 years ago. It follows a young girl around a California scene. She's in school. Where do you think she might go for this song, this girl? Where do you think she might go after she's finished her schooling hours?
Oh, I know, to the beach for surfing.
What's to the beach for surfing? Yeah. Genius. It kind of doesn't work, this video. It seems like an advert or something, but I suppose it doesn't matter, you know, because it's Beach Boys in it. So I looked at the YouTube comments. Sparrow WT says, so yesterday I was in a 50s diner and I said to my father, I wish they would play that Bomb Iran song. And then it came on, so he's saying, bomb, 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 Iran.
Yes, because there was a version in 1979 by Vince Vance and the Valiants called Bomb Iran.
You silly billies, let's leave Iran alone. Hey, Vince!
John McClane sang it. Not John McClane. John McCain sang it on the campaign trail.
He invented the oven chip.
Yeah, in 2008. He started singing Bomb, 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 Bomb Iran.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Popular among the American right.
I get ya. Well, get this. Rico Sanchez, some number 499 says, when I listen, I feel I'm a mom that has 2 kids and work in a duty-free shop at an airport, wake up at 7:15, run the washing machine, then get dressed, serve breakfast with toast, fruit and ham and egg, either boiled or fried for 7 minutes, and fried broccoli. So that's what Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys brings up to Rico.
It's a very specific thing.
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Think, yeah.
Well, and then someone obviously piles in and says, what are you smoking? Who the fuck fries broccoli?
Should try. You can have broccoli and stir fry.
I knew this song partially. I always like have you seen the Who film? What's it called? The Kids Are Alright, or one of them. Keith Moons was a massive Beach Boys surf music fan. There's a lovely clip where Keith Moon is singing, I guess, Jan's part, the high one.
Dean,
my apologies. And, the Who are backing up. But that's a good rendition of it, I'm going to say. Check it out on YouTube.
Well, this in itself is a cover version.
Go on.
Written by Fred Fassett in 1961. Wrote it about his sister, Barbara Ann.
Yeah.
Bit weird. And then
there's no songs of a lust towards Barbara Ann. The lyrics don't suggest he wants to...
You got me rocking and a rolling.
Rocking and a reeling, Barbara Ann.
Yeah.
You don't think that's you think that's sexual?
I don't know.
Let's cancel him. Maybe like Fred and Rose West should sing it, and then we could.
Oh,
can't help it, James. My apologies, and my apologies to anybody affected by that terrible tragedy. I drove to after digging Gloucester. I had a little drive up that road, see what was going on. I did.
You big ghoul.
I am a ghoulish. I like it. When I told you, when I go to Los Angeles or when I've been, I go on murder tours of that kind of thing happily. Why not have a little drive after you've struggled in front of 80 people in Gloucester and have a little think about how your life could have been much worse if you had to stay there?
I suppose there is that. That was the verse of Backstage that never got written. So it was first released by the band The Regents, which featured Fred Fassett's brother Chuck. So Chuck is in The Regents, also singing about his sister.
Wow.
Did you know Capitol Records put this out without telling the Beach Boys they were going to do it?
Really?
Yeah, the Beach Boys were like, we're trying to get credibility as a proper musical act. And they just thought it was a bit too frivolous and simplistic.
On YouTube comments again, a couple of people allude to the fact, I don't know how they'd know this, maybe through, extensive research and actually facts, but they say the Beach Boys were drunk when they recorded this song, a few people reckon. I mean, hitting an ashtray, having the giggles, don't have to be drunk, but it's certainly got that loose feel to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it just sounds like a bunch of guys having a lovely time.
Yes, I don't know what else to say. I feel a little bit like your radio producer when he says, you can hear them all laughing in the middle. I think, all right then, yeah, I can. In part 2 of this week's Shooby Dooby Doo-Wop, what do you think we're going to be doing, James? What do you think we're going to be discussing?
Football.
That, as well as the top 5 from the 7th of March 1966, including the Rolling Stones' Petula Clark, a song co-written by a comedian, and a song that men can't sing despite them wanting to. Here's a little taste of what's coming up in that. I like seeing all these grandmothers doing the pony to it. I think that was a dance.
What sound can we play through our sound system to torture them? Let's play one of the most popular records of all time. Yeah!
He's behaving like a 4-year-old. He's just had too many sweeties or something.
And at the end, want to know how the story ends? We invited a few close friends. So what's happened there?
Absolutely. They've all thrown their car keys in the bowl and they're having a great time. Sha-la-la-la-lee.
Check out our Spotify and YouTube playlists and let us know your thoughts at shoobypodcast@gmail.com. And for the songs that aren't in the top 10, join our Patreon community and become a subscriber.
Thank you so much for listening. Genuinely appreciate it. Please rate, review, follow, share, subscribe. Just to live a good life. Until next time, Shooby Dooby Doo up.
Bop bop shoo up.